Hi guys, welcome to the Autodesk Navisworks tips and tricks session by Deepak Maini. In this session, I'm going to show you how to perform clash detection between the structural steel and pipework on an oil rig. Before we jump onto Navisworks, just a quick introduction about myself. I'm a qualified mechanical engineer with more than 15 years of experience working with various companies around the world. I'm currently working as the National Technical Head of Manufacturing at CAT Group Australia. We are one of the platinum resellers in NZ region. I've been working with Navisworks for close to about 8 years now. I've been, in fact, using it even before Autodesk acquired it. I'm also the author of Up and Running with Autodesk Navisworks 2014 textbook that is specially written for both plant and building industry. It's got about 648 pages with close to 400 pages of hands-on step-by-step tutorials. You can find more about myself and this textbook at www.deepakmani.com. I'm also a speaker at Autodesk University, and I'll be again speaking this year in December 2013. So if you would like to come and visit my session, please do so. All right, let's jump on to Navisworks with clash test between various components of an oil rig. So as you could see here, I've got this oil rig open in Navisworks. What you would also notice that in my sets window, I've got all these different sets created. Most of these are search sets, as you could see here. There's also a selection set that I created. It's always a good idea to have selection sets or search sets created before you start performing your clash test. It helps you in selecting various components. So in this particular example, I'm going to perform a clash test between pipes and structure. So if I look at my pipes search set, when I click on pipes and I go and say hide unselected, it basically just selects all these pipes in the entire oil rig. Similarly, if I go and pick structures, it picks all these structural members on the oil rig. I'm only interested in this region. That's why I didn't pick the structural member sitting at the bottom for this selection. Obviously, we need to activate our clash detector window to be able to do that. Please note that clash detection is only available in Navisworks Manage. So if you're using one of the suites, it'll be available in the Ultimate suite of your products. In my case, I've created a workspace called Clash Detection Workspace, in which it basically turns off various windows, only leaves the Clash Detection window turned on the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and add a new clash test. I generally prefer specifying an obvious name for my clash test. So in this case, I'm going to say it's a clash test between pipes versus structure. And now in my selection area where I've got selection A and selection B areas, instead of leaving it as standard tab, I'm going to select sets from here. So it'll show me the various sets that I've created in my Navisworks scene. My first selection is pipes and my second selection is structures. Now from the area down the bottom, I'll only pick surfaces because I'm only interested in performing the clash test between the surfaces. However, if one of these parts of my Navisworks scene was, let's say, a point cloud, I could have picked points here as well. Obviously, I'm not interested in self-intersect. The reason is because it is the responsibility of the structural guys or the piping people to make sure that their pipes or their structures are not interfering within themselves. So obviously, I'm not going to pick self-intersect in both the selections. The type of clash test that I'm going to create is a hard clash, so it will only pick the objects that are physically interfering. I've specified a tolerance of 10 mil. Obviously, because we are based in Australia, we work with metric units. If you want, you can use other units by simply changing your global options. So all I need to do now is I'm going to click on Run Test. As soon as I click on Run Test, it will perform the clash between the structures and the pipe, and then it now comes up with a message telling me that there are a total of 20 clashes found. Let me hide this test panel so I could look at my various clash results. The good thing about Navisworks clash test is as soon as you click on any of these clashes, it now basically takes you straight to that particular clash. So this way I can one by one click on each of these clashes and look at where these clashes are. Um, Looking at various options available in the display settings area, the first item that we selected, which was pipes, they are displayed in this red color, whereas the second selection was, which is structure, is displayed in green. If I turn this item 2 off, it basically starts using the display color only for the first selection. The second selection won't be displayed highlighted. I can also pick highlight all flashes, which is not what I'm going to do here. By default, dim other is turned on, which means all the other objects around these clashing objects are dimmed. If I turn it off, it doesn't dim the rest of the objects, so it's a bit hard to figure out where these clashes were. That's why it's always a good idea to leave it turned on. You can also click on this button under the view in context area. So it basically shows you this particular clash in context with the home view, because that's what we have picked here. Similarly, I can go and start clicking on any of these clashes to look at where these clashes are. Once you have interrogated all these clashes, you could also right click on any of these clashes and you can assign it to certain people. So I know the structural engineer in my office who's going to take care of moving the structure is Bruce Trevina. So I can go and assign to Bruce. Could you please look? So all I'm doing is I'm assigning it to Bruce, adding some notes for Bruce. So Bruce knows when he looks at these clashes, he'll know what all clashes have been assigned to him. So this way I can go and assign each of these clashes to the people I want to look at or I want to change. Down the bottom, you've got the items area. The items area is an interesting one. It basically shows you your two selections and the objects that are clashing. Now, this is where Navisworks is really smart. If I was working with live plant 3D models or live microstation models, this is where I can go and say switch back. So the whole idea is it will take me back to the native program, whether it is Inventor or it is Plant 3D or it is Civil 3D or it is MicroStation or Revit, whatever that program is, provided I've got them ready for switchback. So it will take me back to the same native program in which these components were modeled. And the best thing is it will be zoomed exactly at the location where the clashes are. I can go and say select the object in the scene. So if the object is selected in the scene and then when I go and say switch back, when it opens this structure model in the native program, this particular structure member would actually be highlighted. So it straight away tells me where the clashes are and what is the member that I need to fix. Now in this case, I'm not working with the live model, so obviously I can't do a switchback to fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and generate a report out of it. In my report, this is all the information I want to include. And because we have only one clash test, so I'm going to go and say current test, and I'm writing a report in the HTML tabular format. I prefer this because I can drag and drop this file in into an Excel file and look at the reports, look at the results there as well. So if I click on write report, it lets me write the report. I'm going to go into this folder here, and this is the report I want to write. So it creates a new HTML file with whatever is the name of your clash test. Let me do a quick save. So it's written the report. I can go back to my overview view now. And if I go and open that reports folder, so you would notice that it's created this file called pipes versus structure.xml. And it's also created this folder, which basically has all those 20 clash viewpoints. So if I double click on this HTML file to open, it gives me all the information about my clashes. And if I click on any of these images, it would basically open that enlarged image from that image folder that it automatically creates inside the folder that you have picked for your clashes. So if I go into the clash that I assigned to Bruce, I'll be able to see that information as well. So this is the clash that I assigned to Bruce, and I can see it in the comments that I added. So when Bruce gets this clash report, he'll be able to straight away see what are the clashes that are assigned to him and any associated notes with it. So that's a quick session on how to perform clashes in Autodesk Navisworks. Thanks for your time. Cheers.